The best example I can give you is like you have somebody named Henry Lebri, you have Amilcar Cabral. Amilcar Cabral, his father was from Capo Verde, but he was born in Guinea Bissau. You see, then that's the ones who were allowed to do politics or talk at least a little bit about politics. While the other ones who were born and raised in Guinea Bissau from Guinea Bissauen parents, they were not allowed to participate in their activities. And the risk was to go for them to be put in jail or to be beaten. And you know how the colonial system is. The colonial system has always used violence as a way to intimidate other ones, as a way to force other ones to not do what they don't want them to do. You see, that's kind of like, and at the same time, the colonial system were able to use the local people in forced labor, for forced labor, make them work for the colonial farm, make them work in building roads, bridges, or whatever, right, without them being paid. You see, and you don't have a choice in, you don't have the choice in raising your voice, should you do that or no, you don't have those opportunities. Then that's kind of like what you see happening in Guinea-Bissau throughout all those period of time. That's why if you look all the early political parties in Guinea-Bissau, the people who built them by the 1950s, right, will be people, yes, who got something to do with Cabo Verde Island. Now you might have very few Bissau Guineans who decide to do that or who participate in doing that, but most of the time they have to do it clandestinely, or they have to do it from Senegal or from Guinea-Conakry. You see, that's kind of like what happened. And even Cabral and his followers, when they were building the PAI at first, that later on became PAI, just say, they did it in a very clandestine way. And when they were doing it, they were a group, some social scientists argue they were a group of between 6 and 15, but at least when they built it in 1956, all the way to 1959, they refused to have female members. Why? Based on what one of their early female members, Carmen Pereira, told me, was they believe they have to keep it secret, because even though they were Portuguese, they have a Portuguese citizenship, but they were not allowed to run political parties, and especially to talk about independence. Then when they built the political party, it was very secret, and very limited group of people were part of the political party. And now what they were trying to do is to try to organize some of the upper class, right? Meaning Capo Verdians, because the upper class, when we talk upper class workers, right? In order for them, especially the one who were working in the port, right? Disembarking the boats and all this kind of stuff, to organize them for them to fight for better pay, right? And better working conditions. That's what will lead to a kind of like a strike, dock workers strike in 1959 to September, and that dock workers will ended up having a lot of dock workers, 50 dock workers being killed by the colonial police. You see, and from there also the PAIGC and Amilcar Cabral, all that were being chased by the Portuguese police, and that will force them to get out of Guinea-Bissau and to move to Conakry, Guinea-Conakry, because now we're talking about 1959. Guinea-Conakry is independent 1958, right? And you have Sékou Touré, who was considered to be one of the major Pan-Africanists. They moved there now to start to organize themselves as to fight. And that's through that period also, the PAIGC and Amilcar Cabral realized they would never be able to get the independence through the Pacific means. That's when they decide to organize the armed struggle. Now then, them moving out of Bissau and Guinea Portuguese to go to Guinea-Conakry, and they start seeing also at that time Guinea-Conakry being a major base where you have a lot of Pan-Africanist nationalists from Portuguese colonies, but also from Francophone colonies, from English colonies, also all living in Conakry, right? And that's when they start reorganizing their political party. And that's when also the idea about allowing women, because they were able to see the power of women in terms of mobilization. especially in the case of former French Guinea under Sékou Touré. You see, that's when they start allowing more and more women to join the party. And from there, now they start training themselves and organizing themselves for what later on will be the armed struggle. And the women will play a key role in that.
Thank you very much for that. I really love this history podcast. It's very interesting. I think we should be doing this every day because, no, honestly, our people need it because we need to know. We need to know about our history. This is our past. We need to dig it up from time to time and review it. It is very important. All right, now we talk about the role of women in the liberation struggle in Guinea-Bissau. It's not just because somebody want to do them a favor or something like that. It's because they really were there. They really did the work that make it possible for what eventually happened, the victory. Now, I want to know, what really did they do? Help us to understand that.
Okay, when it's first, you have to understand French Guinea. The women play a key role in helping Sékou Touré and his political party, the Parti Africain, the Parti Democratic Africain, in mobilizing since 1948. And those Guinean women play a key role in what later on allowed Guinea to vote no in the French referendum that led to Guinea becoming independent. You see, and when Cabral and his followers, as for security purpose, run from Bissau to Conakry, they saw the role women were playing, the Guinean women were playing in mobilizing and helping Sékou Touré run this newly independent country. And at the same time also, as you have a lot of Bissau Guinean women who were living already in French Guinea, some of them for education purpose, because they were not allowed to have access to education in Bissau or Portuguese Guinea. Then some certain parents send their kids to French Guinea for them to have some kind of like education. I can name somebody like Francisca Pereira, who is still a predominant political figure in Guinea-Bissau. She joined the PAIGC when she was in Guinea-Bissau, when she was in Guinea-Conakry. And why she was in Guinea-Bissau? Because her parents sent her there to get education. But at the same time, you have some other people from Portuguese colonies who were living there because they felt like, as Guinea is independent, former French Guinea is independent, that can be used as a mobilizing place in order to organize themselves to fight against the Portuguese colonization. You have people from Angola, you have people from Mozambique, all that who were living there also, meaning Sékou Touré and the French Guinea was playing, Sékou Touré and Guinea, the newly independent Guinea, was playing the same role as the one somebody like Kwame Nkrumah and Ghana was playing on the English colonies side. You see, now then, automatically, when Cabral start mobilizing, you start seeing some young Bissau Guineans moving toward Guinea-Bissau, Guinea-Conakry, in order for them to be trained, right, for political purpose. For them to be trained for political purpose, and one of their #1 trainer or teacher was Cabral himself. Because Cabral wanted to make sure the people he will send back to Guinea-Bissau for them to help mobilize the people of Guinea-Bissau to prepare them for the liberation war. They have to be people who understood why the liberation war, and they have to be able to translate the message of the struggle for independence in a very meaningful way. What that mean? Be able to go talk to the people in a language that they can understand. What that mean? To not go back in Guinea-Bissau and talk to people about independence. Because the word independence, it's a concept, and people don't eat concepts, and people don't see concept. Then for him, these mobilizers going back, they should be able to come to people and talk to them in a very understandable way. Meaning what? Ask people to think about what were their living conditions prior to the Portuguese to come in, and what is their living conditions now after the Portuguese come in.